how this is the place that started with for him. I still don't get why though. He's just like take off the weight from Sakurai in this situation. He's like totally unleashed. His chant is terrifying. How can you fight this thing? So maybe I was right about every single generation that came before him. Hello and welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for another episode of DS Irae. So yeah, we're going to continue the story. I'm not going to talk long intro this time because, well, last time we had enough talk about Reinhardt and Mercurius, I guess. So this time we're going to jump straight into the action, I guess. And yeah, we'll see like what's the deal with Shiro. I'm like mostly interested in Shiro right now currently because of like how he can like speak apparently with Kasumi, like for some weird reason, and also in Kasumi as well because somehow she must like project these thoughts, right? So yeah, anyway, let's go. I will be regretting me seeing how I set a fire or home. Yeah, this is Ellie.
はあ？そりゃそうだけどさ、さすがにここまでやっちゃうと親父に顔向けできないっつうか、こりゃもうあんたうちの婿養子にでもなってくんないと割り合わないよ。あ？うるさいバカ。私は別に家業を嫌ってるわけじゃないって言ったでしょ。
Exasperation battle resignation in Ellie mind as she spoke into a receiver. At the same time, though, a hint of cheerfulness could be clearly heard in her voice. Ah.
まあとにかく信用問題もあるからさ。今後経営が厳しくなったら責任取ってよ。そりゃ確かにここでドンパチやられるよりはマシっつっても。所詮
That is true. You may save people, but yeah, in terms of like business, like yeah, this is like going to be terrible. But hey, we're fine. Like, no one will die, and there will like be no open the 8th one, right? They cannot open the 8th one. Oh wait, no, they can. They just need like one of the Einherjars or someone just die inside. It's just like no problem. It's still no problem for them. So it's kind of meaningless move actually. The incessant halls of police sirens and fire trucks filled the streets. The town's largest hospital had suffered a major fire with no determinate cause. All in all, certainly enough of a reason to cause a racket, especially in town, already on the edge in the wake of several unusual incidents. That is true. Don't they have like any other hospital? Is it like the only hospital in the town actually? In the city actually? It's kind of big city, right? It's not like it's like really small. They have like only one hospital, isn't it? Or it was said that this is the only one hospital. I'm not sure. I don't remember that. Ali had also posted a bomb threat online just in case. That would likely keep the place shut down for at least at least a day or two. The patients and the hospital staff were already being evacuated. Okay, smart.
現場検証の警察とかまで追い出すのはさすがに無理くさいけど、あの連中はそういう仕事だしね。最悪巻き込まれて殉職してもご愁傷様ということで。つか、あんたさ、本当に感謝してるわけ？
Yeah.
いや、よくやったぜエリー。さすが俺の見込んだ女は違う。だからあんまガミガミ言うなよ。大事の前って言葉もあんだろ。
Shiro seems unaware of the scale of the events his actions had caused. Although the drugs he took to stay on his feet slandered his speech, it was likely not the cause of his lack of self-awareness.
先輩はいるかい？変わってくれよ。
Okay. After a few more symbolic complaints, Ellie handed the phone to the girl standing beside her.
今からあんたんちぶっ壊されるかもしんないけど、別にいいだろ。
Yeah, we'll see about that.
最悪っつうか最善っつうか、とにかくどう転んでもあそこただじゃ済まねえし、明日からホームレスになる確率大だけど、そうなったら俺らが面倒見てやっから、これが終わったらパーッと行こうぜ。なーに心配すんなって。勘だが、多分うまくいくよ。
Okay. Well, I don't think it's going to be fine though. Despite his looks, Rhea knew Shiro to be a man of his word, but at the same time, She could not help wondering what his definition of fine was. Yeah, pretty much. In the end, he could not master the courage. She could not master the courage to ask.
分かったよ。私と彼女はここで待ってる。シロ、あんた置いてかれたからって、あの二人にしょうもないいたずらしようとか思ってんじゃな
He
い？
definitely is going to mess with them.
ああ聞こえんな。なんだって？
いや、だからさ、もうほっときなさい。ユサ君、バカなんだから。
Yeah.
藤井君もバカだし、桜井さん脳みそ筋肉だし、綾瀬さんは、まあ、その。
Okay.
ああはいはい。そういうのの続きはまた後で。とにかく今挙げたメンツが生きてりゃ文句はないんだろ。頑張ってみっからそうブツブツ言いなさんなって。
私は別に、とりあえず一番行きそうなのはあんただっていう居残り組の意見も忘れずに。
With his wants, Shiro normally have been chained to a bed and dragged to sleep, not left to later around on his own. His body might not have been exactly normal, but neither was it made of steel. It wouldn't hold for long. Yeah. So another road where Shiro's dying. Okay, I see. Still, Shiro merely shrugged his shoulders to ring a deaf ear to the girl's warning.
なのんきに日和見決めてられる状況でもねえっつの。
But what you can do this time actually around? Last time you managed to actually kill Babe because you discovered his weakness. And you actually been in full strength back in the day. And now you are weakened, you are wounded. Sure, you cannot feel this and stuff, but still, you are limited. And you are against like two like most powerful like beings that are summoned around. And Strifa, which makes it free actually. Never in his life has Shiro been faced with chance to be a part of this match action. When else was he gonna do that, if not now?
ま、正面からぶち当たる役はあいつらに譲るとしても。
Both of them were impulsive and incredibly single-minded. Shiro had doubts they could focus their attention on anything other than was right in front of them, since the shit hit the fan. Which also meant they needed someone that specialized in cover operations, a trump card that moved on its own.
じゃ、行ってくるぜ。なんか気合が入るようなこと言えよ、エリー。
無事帰ってきたら、私の処女をあげちゃうとか？
Oh my god, okay.
んなもん一生取っとけ。先輩は。
Wow.
私の胸を揉ませてあげる券13枚。
13 tickets to fall. Great.
揉むほどねえだろ、あんたのは。
Wow, wow. Shiro grin widened. The ability to remain level-headed in any situation, as well as ever-persistent tendency for playing around, numbered among the strongest weapons in the young man's arsenal. It was unclear whether the guys were simply going with the floor or were good at coping with those situations themselves. Still, the three managed to preserve their usual laid-back atmosphere. That's good, actually. Like, you should not like stress way too much. I mean, it's good to stress out in the situation, but yeah, you don't want to get killed. So just have like just a little bit of like room even in your head, just like to be kind of like not stiff and paralyzed from fear. Shiro generally appreciated the lack of any false doom and gloom. Yeah, exactly. After all, they already had people in their group specializing in anger and depression. He had to balance them out.
なあ、クソシリアスなのはそっちに任すぜ。
Shiro already treading the hill path leading to the church, gave the two girls traveling along in front of him a carefree wink. He realized that this was the place where it all began with him, and it would also serve as the stage of their finale. How this is the place that started with for him? Wait, how is Shiro connected to the church that Strifa is in? I don't know if he had like any backstory like that, right? he found it amusing how conveniently things fell into place at times.
じゃあな、エリー、先輩。今夜でしまいだ。
The idea filled him with a momentary hint of melancholy, though the excited sense of expectation soon washed it clear away. He was certain that an answer to his question would grace him by the time the night was out. Shiro had a peculiar feeling, one might call it the foreknowledge. When the plot wants you to have foreknowledge, you have foreknowledge. Okay, I get it. That he, as a man not as directly involved with matters as Ren and K, could consequently came closer to the truth than those two. An average man would interpret it as the omen of death, paving in the way of the gallows. He would meet and perceive something not meant for mortal eyes. He would make contact with the taboo incarnate. Wait, is he going to actually meet with like some kind of like... Oh my god, is Reinhardt coming back in like partial form or something? I mean, in the previous episode they said that they're going to like enter the scene, right? Basically. Or maybe he's going to see Mercurius? One of these two. Oh. Well, if you face one of these and actually fight them, then it's not going to be much of the fight. Shiro had a clear feeling, no a conviction, that it would happen tonight. Okay. And now we're back to Ren. Things turned out so much like I had anticipated that I didn't even need time to take the situation. My mind was made in an instant. Yep, there's Kain, okay. Kain without the hoodie. I think we have like this particular CG first time without his hoodie. Yeah. We reached our final destination, running straight into Tubal Cain, blocking the entrance to the church. His giant, dead frame towered over us like a wall, his abominable mug partially invisible through the cracked mask he wore. Sakurai's voice gave a slight tremble, a clear sign of the turmoil raging in her heart beneath her cool exterior. Yeah. She couldn't stop herself from addressing him. In her mind, reason fought a losing battle against the memories invoked by the giant visage, an abomination that once was her brother. Given her promise, she wished she could see the dead man as a silent piece of furniture, a failed emperor, unable to do a thing by itself, a puppet by the name of Tubal-Cain, no more. Yet still she called out to him, hoping for an answer. Yeah. She's blaming herself for his death. That much. I still don't get why though, I think. Now I think about this, because Kain went like it was like all the plan of Trifa, right? No one knew about this, it seems. And Kain seems like protected Valkyria or something, like both of them died, basically. So how is that like fault of like Sakurai? Why she's like feeling responsible for his death? I'm not quite getting this. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to not get this, or I just kinda like forgot or something in that like everything that happens, or I didn't catch it in the dialogue or something. You can like clarify this for me if you would like to in the comments. Maybe I'm supposed to not know this yet, or maybe I'm just like forgetful. Her inability to resist committing such a meaningless action stood testament to the strength of their familiar bond. It was a palpable manifestation of the love in her heart. As irrational as it was, contradictory, a volatile emotion I had not been used to to seeing in Sakurai. Yet, at the same time, it felt very much like her. And so... We are not Divine Vessel. I truly hoped she wouldn't have heard those dreadful voices. Yeah, that's right. Sakurai don't know that kind can still speak. Yeah. Yeah. A voice that contained a century worth of malice and fury spilled forth from the dead thing's lips, like a curse echoing from the depths of hell. It wasn't the voice of a brother addressing her sister. Oh wow. Ren gently he's just like take off the weight from Sakurai in this situation. He knows that he wants to kill Divine Vessel and he's just like, oh god damn it, Sakurai, yeah, this thing is speaking to you. Hey Kain, you know what? I'm Divine Vessel, yeah. Yeah, let's just murder each other. Okay, that's actually a smart move, yeah. And so, I took a step forward, unable to allow him to hurt Sakurai. That was one thing I could never allow to happen. Yeah. My inner voice begged Sakurai to get out of here as soon as possible. What I would set triggered the countdown. It was only a matter of time until Kain was completely mental. Went completely mental. Yeah. His teeth clattered, his muscle creaked, killing intent. Sickening and vile like rotten puss. It filled the air all around us. I felt as if the faint eyes, despite being so shut, had been drilling a hole into me. I think because last time he just assumed that it was divine, he was Divine Vessel and stuff, right? Now he openly says that he's Divine Vessel, so I think right now we are going to see actually truly mental breakdown of Kain and his berserker strength, I guess, when he's not controlled and driven only by his fury towards Divine Vessel. And maybe one of the more the strongest examples of Kain's power now, when he's not controlled and just go fully berserk. That's going to be tough. I pushed the dumbfounded Sakurai out of the way. Yep. Kain Blade came at me at the blink of an eye, causing the asphalt below to shatter and cave in, leaving a small crater. Yep, this is also the first time we see Kain in this CG without mask. The dead freak moved even faster than before. Yeah, pretty much as I said. He's totally unleashed. He might not have been as quick as Schreiber, but his attacks packed far more punch. I couldn't keep parrying cannonballs. Yeah, you're in the way. Yeah, I need to protect you and also fight this guy. This is bad. I need to focus. I couldn't divert the force of the blow that well after losing time pushing Sakurai off the ground. Out of the way. Yeah, sorry. The weight of it sent me to my knees, pinning me to the ground. I thought my spine might break. The palpable wrath and bloodlust emanating from Kain made the air so vicious I could barely breathe. The thing had seriously gone completely mental. Was it a vengeful fixation or sheer lunacy driving him? Probably both. His resentment and seething emotions turned to the gale, digging into my skin. Still, I knew there was one thing I couldn't allow to happen, no matter what. I couldn't let Sakurai watch this any longer. Her idiotic notion that this thing was her brother would doubtless drive her to insanity as well. The thing likely didn't know or possess the capability of comprehend the girl standing dumbfounded before him, despite having been told to flee, was his own sister. Yeah, kind of at this point is only his only memory is probably Divine Vessel at this point. Oh, and Beatrice, right. She might have been mistaken, but a piece of shit could have at least shown some tact to not go berserk in front of a girl who called him brother. Yeah. Pouring all of my strength into the guillotine, I somehow managed to brush the greatsword before it completely flattened me. A giant blade crashed into the asphalt right next to me, splitting it apart. If killing the bastard a second time was necessary to calm him down, I would gladly do it. Using the inertia from Kain's blade to spin around, I delivered a roundhouse kick straight to his face. Okay. Oh my god, Sakurai. Get a grip on yourself. We knew I will fight this guy and it's not going to be pretty. I know, like, thoughts are thoughts and actual things are actual things, but we're dealing with situation here, Sakurai. Like, just go inside and just like do your thing. We have like kind of crisis here. My kick swept Kane off the ground, making him crash into the woods of the road, taking several trees along with him as he fell. My physical prowess seems to have risen again. Good. Likely because I had activated my creation fragment. Okay, didn't thought about that, but probably because you have like more control over your like soul and stuff. I knew that delivered a reasonably powerful kick. I felt his skull and neck bone shatter under my shoulder, but I also knew it wouldn't be enough. The only way to defeat another wielder would be a direct hit from the Afnerbere. Besides, the freak was already dead. Yeah, the problem with Afnerbere is... oh my god, like, yeah, the power level and like things in this era, they make sense until they are supposed to look cool. Then they don't make sense. Like, decapitation from Ren is supposed to be like instantaneous, right? And like kill anyone. And then we have Spinner who actually survived that. And Tripa had to finish him off. Okay. Then we had like, I guess Schreiber. No, Schreiber is actually a bad example because he got hit by Trifa. Well, Trifa somehow teleported together, like he switched places, it seems to, with a lance. So it's also like weird. But yeah, I think like the biggest motherfucking example is just Spinner. But it's cool, hey. Even if his brains are blown out, he would still keep on moving. I couldn't defeat him by separating his head from the torso with my guillotine. I'm not sure about that. However, in that moment... Okay, when I hear someone chanting, I feel like we are about to see first degree of Kain. Holy shit. Field stained, crops ravaged, animals skinned, abused. What the hell is your fragment? Could you hear that? You can rewind and hear it again if you would like to. In this like whole like speech that Kain just gave, with this like inhuman voice, there was like human voice in this as well, mixed in the background. You could hear like Kain actual voice in this fragment. A voice like booming thunder suddenly erupted from the woods. Sakurai fixed her eyes on the grove, her face pale as a ghost. His chant is terrifying. I have no idea what the fuck that might do. It sounds messed up. I have no idea what the words were supposed to mean. But I could feel dreadfulness ringing like an erotic chant of sickening taboos. I knew who the voice belonged to and what it would unleash. Yep. Okay, this is terrible. The deadman prayer of the fireman echoed across the woods, slowly turning it into a bog of rotten blight. Separating me from woe and misery. Holy shit. Did he just made like undead, poisonous, like area or something? Like what? I felt something happen to my body as the gust of vicious bloodlust swept across the area with increased ferocity. My clothes began to wither and fall apart, and my limbs changed the color. The skill peeling of them. Holy shit, kind. He just like made the whole area like decay. Like holy shit. Okay, how do we fight this? I have no like the 30 degrees in like this era are so freaking powerful and ridiculous. Like how can you fight this thing? Like just how? Like what's the answer here? Like you cannot just like go in. The flow of blood halted in my veins. I could no longer hear the sound of my own heart. All strength left my body as I staggered in vain to resist this inexplicable force. The phenomenon reminded me of Wilhelm Knight of Bloodstained Roses, but it was far worse. It exceeded even the very concept of killing instead. It turned one foe into living dead. A spectral gale transforming all those it touches into beings resembled its undead master. Also, what with Sakurai? She's next to you, so this is terrible as well in that scenario. That's bad. Worse than bad. I couldn't possibly hold my own against the freak in this condition. While I was incapacitated by the terrible blight, the culprit of my torment emerged from the woods. His humongous feet trampling over the rotting trees as he moved forward. It's like moving plague. Had I been imagining things, even though my clouded vision, the lumbering frame of the giant now seems like a different man altogether. Oh, I think like yeah, because he's like semi-aware, right? So he knows, like he's like in not normal state. He knows probably that he's dead, and he's like kept alive. He probably knows, but he cannot do anything about this and can't disobey and stuff. What? He makes no sense. Yeah, he went crazy. I staggered out of the trajectory of his great sword in haste, yet the slash aimed at my side painted a beautiful arc in the air before changing its trajectory, losing not a shade of its speed in the process. Powerless against such a brilliant display of exact swordsmanship, I could do nothing but watch as the blade sank into my left shoulder. I had only faith to thank that he didn't kill me right there and then. It carried enough force to break from my shoulder bone and split me in half. Okay, but as luck had it, I knew that attack. I saw Casman practicing over and over again back in the day. Okay, so great. Kendo, eh? God damn it, that kind is so fucking terrifying. Oh, how do we deal with this? Kind followed me with a step swift as lightning, while I staggered backwards, wrestling with confusion and pain alike. Despite his colossal frame, he didn't make a sound, and instead shuffled through the ground with the precision of a kendo grandmaster. Could that have been the so-called Shukuchi technique? To cover the distance between you and the enemy, seemingly in an instant, not through speed, but by creating an optical illusion, but not letting your body and head sway as you advance. In that case, rather than kendo, it was probably more like ancient fencing. I mean, he is like centuries old, right? Or at least like century. I think. No, wait, not century. Okay, never mind. It's like, yeah, no, never mind. I thought like ancient because of how old he might be, but yeah, that's not the case. Okay, but if like the, you know, experiences of other souls are still intact and they are like remembered and they're just like fusing with each other each time the next kind is made, then yeah, he can know the ancient techniques basically because, well, his ancestors probably knew them. Meanwhile, Kane launched his consecutive attacks gracefully, with swift, sharp bites. No way that was still a Tubalcain I knew. What on earth happened? Who the hell was I fighting now? Yeah, that's bad. I dodged the lightning thrust, catching the blade in my right hand through sheer reflex. I knew full well how dangerous it was to enter a direct power struggle with the bastard, but if I allowed him to advance any further, he would eventually screw me like a helpless animal. I had to seal Kain's movements and catch myself a break to come up with a proper strategy to deal with his new fighting style. However, I could barely believe my eyes. Kain's double-edged sword seemed to transform. Okay. I mean, it is transforming blade, it depends like who's wielding this, right? Hold on a second. Transforming the single-edged curved blade, it was still huge as before, but it now remember a Japanese sword beyond a shadow of doubt. New thought, new idea. You remember how, like when we first time had Kain set Beatrice, and I had like theory that Kain might have like Beatrice's soul in him or something, you know, like that's somehow intertwined, like Kain and Beatrice and Valkyria. So what if like his like normal state is basically Kain, right? Like this huge sword, like brute and stuff, and these like fancy moves basically are Valkyria actually. So when he used his third degree, like Kain third degree, not Valkyria third degree, but Kain third degree, then she took a control of the body, and now the blade changed to her, to how she would like use the sword basically, because she used the sword as well. Holy shit! In that case, that would make sense why the sword changed, and like, and the fighting style, and Ren is like not sure if he's fighting Kain anymore. Still the voice of the guy though. Another curse escaped Tubalcain dead lips as we came face to face, struggling to push each other's weapon out of the way. Unless it changed because he's like more aware of himself now. Maybe the previous state was because like he was like not fully aware of himself and it just like made the big like frame dual-handed sword because like kind of strong and basically a berserk. But now when he like awakens like his like own self, I guess, kinda a bit more, then it's changed into the weapon that will suit more of his own fighting style actually. It might be that as well. A sudden hunch hit me. I still had no idea what exactly just happened. But one thing I knew with absolute clarity. The ridiculous curse that all samurai had to shoulder was at least partially caused by this piece of shit. The very next moment, the giant katana in my grip began to violently tremble. So maybe I was right about Valkyria? Now we heard the woman voice. Oh my god, Kain is able to use like 2 creation figments at once? Are you fucking serious? Is Valkyria a sword? And Kain is the body? Is that how they're divided? What? No, it's not. Like he's still him speaking. I thought like for a second, I don't know why. Oh my god. This is just like this is just too much. I thought like for a second that sword is talking, but it's like still Kain. Okay. God damn it. Into the realm of a swarm of insects representing the cosmos, mammoing my rights. Well, shit. Double creation of pigment. How? It's like 2 on 1. This is like, oh my god, impossible. I reflexively let go of the thing's weapon, picking up the giant frame to launch myself into the air, essentially escaping in the process. Yet despite the fact that my actions created a distance large enough that neither of our weapons could reach each other, I felt something. Perhaps an arrow hit me in the shoulder. The bastard changed fighting styles again. I crashed into the ground, shot down by that mysterious projectile. A different kind of poison seems to have invaded my bloodstream, seeping into my very bones. I could no longer muster the strength to stand. Holy shit! Kain seems to have changed in some explicitly subtle way again. I had no idea what was going on anymore. Hell no. Being in the world could possess multiple creation figments, and at least the last time this bastard used it, he turned into the lightning. Yet there he was now, using curses to make my body rot away. He had alternate fragments of lightning and poison, and could even adjust the latter to affect either a wide area or specific single target. It almost felt like I've been fighting 3 people at the same time. 3? Okay, I thought about 2, but okay. What? Why 3? I had no idea what the thing was saying, but it sounded like declaration of death. Kain grinned. Okay. Shall mold in my place. What? Kain's weapon had changed once again. It went from the broadsword to a curved blade, and now it seemed to have caught in something resembling cannon. Okay, Is it like literally so is it actually like I said, like he can like use ancient techniques because like he have like ancestry within him? Is it possible that it applies to like Beres and like creation pigments? Can Kain use like creation pigments and powers of like every single generation that came before him? Holy crap! Okay, he's unique as hell. How do we even fight this? Tupal Kane pointed the humongous shaft of this new weapon at me. Shit, I had to move. If that thing hit me, I would... As the demonic cannon leaped out bright flames, Kane sounded a laugh in the voice of mixed agony and joy. The baffling sight made Kay halt her step. Or rather, the fact she could vaguely suspect that what was happening made her confusion even greater. Ren somehow managed to dodge the bullet with the new Kain's weapon, but his position remained far from ideal. With his mobility severely hindered, he could only keep running from bullets, unable to close in until one eventually hit him. He would lose. At this rate, he would eventually die. But what was she to do? How best she ate him? For one, she could not fight against her own brother. There was that deal she made with Ren about not interfering with his battle. Yeah. A silly question. She knew the answer, but was merely too afraid to admit it. Naive hope lingered still within her heart, and had been doing its best to shut her mind down. Why would they emerge now? So there are actually multiple people.
おそらくはハイドリ秘境が近くある影響といったところですかな。
Okay, hi Trifa. Holy shit. This is bad. Valera Trifa appeared behind her, without a sound. But Kay could not bring herself to face him, even after noticing his presence. The second generation Tubal Cain had been fighting Ren right now, as the Tubal Cain of the first generation vanished once the sword clashed. Those two were Kay's great-grandfather and grandmother. Okay, yep, so Cain can literally use any freaking power that the lineage had.
懐かしいですね。もはや会えぬと思ってましたよ。彼らも私の古い戦友。これはこれで嬉しい誤算だ。
Yeah.
武蔵の実直さも、レイの奔放さも、私を引きつけてやまなかった。
Driva stroked his chin, an ever-present yet lifeless smile frozen on his lips. In the field, Ren was completely helpless against the onslaught of two alternating kinds.
偽装によるエインフェリアという事態の発端であることを悔やみ、憎み、子々孫々にわたって受け継ぎ浄化させると誓った彼の渇望。その宿業から放逐され、知ったことではないと自由を求めた彼女の渇望。言うなれば継承と天下。言葉にすればまるで正反対に聞こえながらも、その魂、発露の形は哀れなほど似通っている。
Okay.
彼らの想像、実にその通りのものだと思いませんか？敵対すれば非常にたちの悪い類と言える。
A sinner would wash away both heavenly and earthly sins by carrying them through the realms of Nenokuni, the land of origin. A basic concept of Shinto, standing at the very core of Japanese mysticism, the villagers would elect one of the role of the demon and force everyone's sins upon him, ultimately purifying it by exile. Okay, that sounds messed up. And so it happens that this time, fate those and so it happened that this time fate chose the bloodline of Sakurai. They had to wander and ultimately disappear into the netherworld, forever exiled from the world of the living. A cross in the shape of the Bevel's Bulk Longinus force tap on their shoulders.
我々の感性にはない概念であり、恐ろしくも悲哀をかきたてられるシステムですね。実に日本的と言えばよいのでしょうか。まあもっともそこに進んで関わりたがった怖いもの知らずもいたようですがね。
The priest answered Kei's confusion with a meaningful smile. A curl of lips that seems to both mock and pity the girl lamenting her fate.
私が二人いるのに気づかなかったのですか？レオンハルト。カインは三代。内訳は男性、女性、男性なのに。なぜか女性が二人いる。おかしいですね。本来ならありえない。私も最初は気づかなかったし。
Also, yeah, like, if the blade is only taking Sakurai's and stuff, then why Valkyria being absorbed? I mean, the place, a museum, should absorb her soul when she died. Actually, wait. Yeah, we actually don't know if she died in the museum. That's true. This is the thing that Trifa told us. He basically told us a lie. Yeah, like, we remember they were, like, ambushed. It was, like, not in the museum, probably. So, her soul been actually absorbed by the sword, not by the, like, museum swastika. Or something. He turned around and started towards the church, not giving another glance to the battle behind him.
そんなところにいても得るものはありませんし、藤井さんの邪魔になるだけですよ。ついてきなさい。お望みならば少し語る場でも持ちましょう。
And with those words, Kei finally recalled that confronting the priest was her initial reason for coming here. She would settle the score regarding anything she knew, as well as all she did not. Standing in place like a scarecrow wouldn't get her any closer to fulfilling that goal. Kei let out a brief, pained sigh as she shot another glance at the battle. Yeah. Did she want him to win or lose? She could not tell. But there was at least one certain hope in her heart. Yeah. She believed in him, and in her thoughts, begged him to survive. With that final prayer escaping her lips, Kei turned to leave as well. At the same time, a grim proclamation budded in her heart, one that heralded no light, only a fast approaching darkness. A premonition, yeah. Now, I just realized, like, we're ending episode, by the way. So I will just save. But look at this CG. Like, wait, how do I? Okay, look at this. What does it remind you of? It reminds me of the Reinhardt Castle. It's pretty much the same. Like, you have like this. It also had like, it was like a throne basically, but also had a cross, I think. And like, it was like all golden, and like the corridor, it's basically like the church. Like a cathedral, basically. Okay, that's just like one thing that I just wanted to sell. But yeah, what to picking? I don't know. Like, this whole thing, like this whole episode was so intense. Like, Kain actually using multiple creation figments, changing his like fighting styles, changing personalities. This is like totally nuts. I don't know if I don't know. Like, Shiro must do something with this. Like, Shiro must be important in this equation. Like, I don't see any way for Ren to actually win this fight. Like, literally any. Like, okay, maybe if he used his creation figment and actually stop the time. like actually stop the time, then maybe. Actually, slowing down time should be fine too, I guess. I mean, he will be still rotting away because of the kind curse. Okay, maybe he's not on the lost page yet. He still did not use his third degree. Okay, so unless kind have something to counterattack the third degree of Ren, then yeah, we should be fine. If he does, then Shiro must come into the equation and help Ren somehow. I don't know how, but somehow. Anyway, that will be it for this episode, so leave a like if you like the episode, subscribe if you're not subscribed, become a member if you would like to support me. Thank you, members, for your support. I really appreciate your help. And yeah, I will see you everyone in the next episode of DS irae. Thank you everyone once again for your support, for your likes, for your comments. And let's see how the next road will end. Maybe in next episode, maybe in 2 episodes, not sure how long do we have, but it's like very soon, it seems. So yeah, thank you. And for Pocket Watch, let's going out.